I want to go back to the I want to go to the Mets because I got no problem. We could put together 2 hours of why Rangers v. Astros is the new Yankees v. Red Sox, right? Like it just is. Not only is it a rivalry that's got some blood to it now, but it's a rivalry of two teams that are consequential and matter in Major League Baseball this year. Again, we'll come back to that later on. The Mets waving the white flag, I to some degree understand, right? Like I to some degree understand it. I still think there was enough talent there that had they adopted the Angel mentality of, let's try it, right? But at the same time, they spent so much money on the roster they had on the field. Adding more pieces to it was a big ask, and I get that. That's not the issue to me. The issue to me was that Verlander said that he sat down with Steve Cohen and the rest of the management of the New York Mets and said, what's the direction of this team? Because he and Scherzer both had effectively no trade clauses that they could have refused leaving. So they kind of wanted to know, right? And he sat down with Cohen and the rest of the management, and he said, what's the direction of this team? Like, are we going to stay competitive? Are we making a run this year and then it's a sell-off next year? Because if so, I'll bounce. But if you guys think you're building a core here, then I'll stick around. And then he left. And he said like a day or two later that he got told in no uncertain terms by the Mets that they were going to start building towards the 2025 season. The Mets not only punted on this year, they've gone ahead and punted on next year. They just said, we're going to suck this year, and we're going to go ahead and plan on sucking next year as well. I could not imagine being a Mets fan, not because you're not used to sucking. I could not imagine being a Mets fan to build you up, Buttercup, the way that they built you up by building the payroll and the roster that they put together, failing miserably with the roster that, frankly, in my opinion, much like Los Angeles, has exactly zero excuses for being as bad as they were, and then going, we're going to reset for next season after getting your fan base all built up and invested in what that team is this year. Cody, I don't know what word to describe the feeling of being a New York Mets fan more than miserable right now.
I used many different cups in my time. I was a catcher, however, but I did have one horrible experience. I was catching a game in AAA for the Padres in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, which is a AAA affiliate for the Chicago Cubs. And I remember pregame, I was catching a bullpen for Robbie Erlin, if you remember that name. Erlin's still pitching, I think, for the Dodgers organization. Erlin was a lefty with a big hammer type of curveball. All right, so I remember one time he dropped down and gave me his curveball, and I went down to block it, and somehow it like hit the plate and bounced weird, kind of got under my glove in the 5-hole and bounced up and missed my cup altogether, which was a normal cup, and got underneath and like squared up one of my guys. And I mean squared up my left guy. Left guy's just chilling, thinks he's safe. He ain't safe, not from that Robbie Erlin curveball. Anyways, a couple of days later, I was still having trouble with discoloration in the bathroom. Kind of similar to Mario, but, you know, more of the reddish variety. So what I do? The smart thing. I went ahead and I got my hands on a Nutty Buddy. Now, in case you don't know what a Nutty Buddy is, it is a type of cup that is a very uniquely shaped thing. It's almost like shaped like a banana. It's supposed to protect like everything underneath. It's a weird shape. I never had this issue ever again. The Nutty Buddy, ladies and gentlemen, they're not a sponsor of the show. They never sponsored me. But I got to tell you, if you're going to wear a cup, get a Nutty Buddy and really actually protect yourself.
Or if you take that bet, Decker, you are just banking on the Yankees getting right? Like, none of us disagree. I don't think. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think any of us disagree that the Yankees have more than enough talent on this lineup to be a playoff team. Even where they are today, they have enough talent to, at the worst, catch the last wild card spot. I believe that. We've seen it. If they can get Judge back in right, we know he boosts everybody in the lineup around him. We've talked about that. Stanton has been cold, but if Judge is hitting the ball well and you can't focus on Giancarlo, it opens up for him. Guys like Rizzo, LeMahieu, these are all players. They've got more than enough firepower. So the 325 bet here is, can this team get right? And I've got no reason to believe that they can. They've changed they've changed hitting coaches. It doesn't seem to have had much, if any, impact at all. They've now got Aaron Judge back. The lineup has not improved like we had hoped that it would, average-wise, top to bottom. All the things that we, for 3 or 4 weeks leading up to the trade deadline, were going, well, if this, and this for the Yankees, they're going to pop right back into this race. All of those things have happened, right? The trade deadline's come and gone. They didn't get better. Judge is back in the lineup. The lineup's not looked better. They changed hitting coaches to try to find some spark. They haven't found a spark. I've got nothing to sink a hook in and go, this is going to be the thing that reunites the Yankees, that puts that spark back. There's none of it has worked out. So why am I going to believe that anything is going to change in the next 3 weeks? Because I think you got, from 11 games down, you got about 2 to 3 more weeks to start putting a dent in that, whatever division you're in. 2 or 3 more weeks to put a dent in that, or the race is dead for you. What about the Yankees makes me believe that they're going to find that spark? I got nothing.
I got nothing as well, and it has less to do with that 11 games, because there's no chance in hell they're going to be able to get that top spot in the AL East. No chance at all. They have a chance for the wild card, but guess what? I still think Seattle's better. I still think Toronto's better. Houston is undoubtedly better. And Tampa Bay Rays, undoubtedly better. Structure this question? No, this is not. No, this question really is: what is Eduardo Rodriguez doing? What the hell is he doing? No, forget the trade clause. The fact that the Dodgers are on your no trade clause because you're an East Coast guy, brother, it's not a life sentence. It's 2 months to go compete for a ring. Like, you're on the Tigers. You're in Detroit. What are you doing? Like, what is that? Am I taking crazy pills?
Yeah, that one was a little shocking, and I read somewhere.
I don't blame the Tigers at all.
Yeah, I read somewhere that I guess he said, like, his family's just happy where they are, and he didn't want to have to uproot his family and move. And I'm like, dude, it's still October. You could have just left them there. They ain't no rule says they got to go with you. You could just put them in a real big house and, like, you know, hook them up with the Amazon password and the Wi-Fi password and a Netflix subscription, and then just been like, I'll see y'all in 2.5 months. We'll be back. Look, I get it. People make personal decisions. They do what's best for them. And if he decided that being close to his family was more important than winning a World Series, I get that. I respect that. I don't understand it, but I get it and I respect it.